President Trump is set to rally for Georgia's Republican Senators David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler on the eve of the election. One of those senators defending his seat joins us now, David Perdue. Senator, great to have you here this morning. Here we are on a Tuesday, right in between Christmas and New Year's. And this very important election, we are 1 week out now. Where do you see things stand in this race? Good morning.
Well, we're winning, Sandra. We won in November by 2 points. The Libertarian got 2 points. So 52.5% of Georgians rejected this liberal Democratic offering that has so many socialistic pieces to it, and they rejected my opponent. So we feel good about it. We're out doing a 125 stop bus tour around the state. Kelly is out as well. So we're driving the idea that we've got to get our vote. If we get our vote out, we win this thing.
Senator, what's at stake here when you look at control of the Senate? If you don't win and it becomes Democratic controlled, you've got Democrats in control of the House, the Senate, and an incoming Democratic president. What does that mean for the future of the country?
Sandra, you just have to listen to Chuck Schumer. Take Georgia, change America. What he means by that is he wants to change the filibuster rule, add 2 states, 2 Democratic states, that'd be 4 Democratic seats. He wants to stack the Supreme Court and eventually change the way the Electoral College operates. That would allow them to perpetrate the agenda that's in the Democratic platform that was displayed during the presidential election. They want open borders. They want to defund the police. They want illegal immigrants to vote. They want to defund our military as well and give us the Green New Deal in addition to socializing our medical system. So this is an aggressive liberal plan that's so dangerous. That's what we're fighting against here. This is the last line of defense, Sandra, as you guys have called out. Kelly and I know what's at stake. The people of Georgia know what's at stake, and they're going to turn out the vote. But we have got to get our vote out to make sure we hold the line here in Georgia.
I'll ask you what you're going to do just that, Senator, in a moment. But first, Mark Thiessen joined us top of the last hour, and he brought into play the negotiations that are happening right now with this latest round of stimulus. And he suggested that potentially the president's late-stage negotiations are taking away from you and Kelly Loeffler's ability to heavily campaign and get your message out with days to go to Election Day, having this negotiation happen right now. Here's Mark Thiessen. I'll get you to respond.
He's put Republicans in the Senate in a horrible position where they may have to buck their president, and he's handed Pelosi and Schumer a cudgel with which to beat up Republicans and call them Scrooges for not being willing to give $2,000 checks. And that's particularly a problem for Senators Perdue and Loeffler, who are now spending this week, instead of campaigning in Georgia, are spending this week deciding whether or not to buck the president on this bill. So, you know, this could cost Republicans control of the Senate.
Similar reporting is out there on the part of Bloomberg, a concern on the part of Republicans. Where do you stand on that issue?
First of all, Sandra, I'm really delighted that the president signed the COVID bill into law Sunday night. I spoke with him many times over the weekend, over the holiday. He was very concerned about getting this help to the American people. The other thing I'm very pleased with is that the COVID bill we just passed, almost 60% of that, Sandra, was reprogrammed money from the first CARES Act. So when the president looked at this, he's very concerned that we didn't go far enough to bring enough help to help people in the back end of this COVID crisis. Look, this should have been done 4 months ago, and that's what the president's been saying for the last 4 months, but we were obstructed in the Senate by the Democrats, who were playing presidential politics the first time in November, and now they're playing senatorial politics before the January 5th election. So I'm delighted to support the president in this it's really a $1,400 increment over what we've already done. And I think with the vaccine coming, I think this is absolutely appropriate. So I fully support what the president is doing right now.
And I know you said you spoke with him. It's been reported you spoke to Larry Kudlow, Ivanka Trump, and others pressuring the president to do just that. Is there Republican support for that? Mitch McConnell obviously has the ball in his court next with that $2,000.
Well, first of all, it's the right thing to do for people of Georgia. I mean, we brought $47 billion to Georgia in the first round of CARES that saved 1.5 million jobs. This appropriation we're talking about right now brings money for distribution for vaccine, for our hospitals, our schools. It helps us get our lives back to normal. So what the president's trying to do is to make sure that we get this done. He doesn't trust that there might be another step in another couple of months. He wants to get this done now.
Got it. I want to move on to a story we're closely following. I know you and your Republican colleague Kelly Loeffler are pushing for leniency in the case of Skyler Mack. Her grandmother has spoken out for help. She, of course, got in trouble with violating COVID restrictions in the Cayman Islands. And I know you're pushing for help for her. Here's her grandmother.
We weren't happy that she did this. This is not like Skyler to make that kind of a bad judgment call, but she did.
She's jailed for violating COVID restrictions, not quarantining when she got there, going to see her boyfriend in a competition. What do you want to see happen here?
Well, I want to see a common sense solution. My office is involved. Kelly Loeffler's office is involved. The White House is involved. I spoke to the White House just last night about this very thing. So I think there's a common sense solution coming. I don't want to speak to the details of it right now, Sandra, but I think we'll have all parties involved happy with the outcome. But let me remind the viewers that this is exactly what we don't want to happen in the United States with mandatory lockdowns and so forth that some Democrats are talking about right now. My opponent talks about it openly, that we should go to a lockdown. So this is a very concerning issue with regard to a potential change in the White House and a change in direction. Look, we're moving to have this vaccine fully employed, hopefully by late spring, it sounds like right now. So I think that we need to be very mindful of the fact that we don't want to have that kind of draconian enforcement of a mandatory lockdown here in the United States.
Senator, I finally want to ask you about this veto override on the $740 billion defense spending bill. The president just tweeted about this morning. I'll put it up on the screen, get your reaction to it. He says weak and tired Republican leadership will allow the bad defense bill to pass, say goodbye to vital Section 230 termination, your national monuments, forts, names, and treasures inserted by Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren, he tweeted. That tweet goes on, but he's calling out weak and tired Republican leadership for allowing that. How do you respond to the president on that?
Sandra, I'm an outsider of this political process. So is the president as far as that goes. Look, what I'm concerned about is I'm chairman of the subcommittee on sea power in the Armed Services Committee, and we've been working for the last 3 years to rebuild our military to stand up to this China threat that we now see so vividly. And what we can't do is go back to the period of time that was under Obama and Biden when they cut our military 25% again, and that's what the president's trying to make sure of here. And also, we need to get at big tech. I mean, this 230 bill is very important. The difficulty is when you put them together, and that's what is at issue right now. But I'm hopeful that we'll get to a real solution. The main thing is I know the president's still committed to the strong military that we've rebuilt.
Senator, I've got to leave it there, but what's your plan when the president arrives eve of the election?
Get the vote out. That's why he's coming. We're going to drive the vote on Tuesday. It's very important for America. The eyes of the world are on us right now. We know what's at stake here. We're going to hold this line against this radical socialist agenda and make sure that the road to socialism does not come through the state of Georgia, Sandra. Thank you.
I want to make sure I tell our viewers we equally invited your opponent on to join us as well this morning, and they declined. So appreciate your time this morning, Senator. Thank you.
Thank you.